G'day, I'm Mark from Self-Sufficient Me, and I thought I'd just show you guys my tunnel trellis that I made several years back, or quite a while back now actually. I made it out of Rio mesh, the concreting mesh that you can get from concrete supplies places, because I found the trellising material you get from the garden centre just is way too expensive. There's some tomatoes that I've just tied them to the top of the overhang, where I've bent the sheeting over to give it a dome type shape. Then I've placed some bird netting over the top of that. And I've grown heaps of different things in this tunnel trellis. It's quite versatile, and you can have your fruit, and there's some Madagascan beans and there's some peas, and they just hang through the mesh. So you could grow cucumbers or even any types of cucurbits and pumpkins and squash, and they'll just hang through the mesh. You don't have to make it as wide as mine. I've just got some chilies growing in there now, but mine was made that wide because initially I didn't have it stoned, I had it grassed, and I wanted my ride-on mower to be able to get through the middle. So I could I could have made that skinnier in hindsight if I knew that I was going to actually stone it in. But I've just used 9-foot star pickets, so I haven't cemented anything in or anything, and I've just hammered them into the ground. I needed a step ladder to hammer them in. They're just hammered in each corner, and then I've secured it also in the middle because I've used 4 sheets of 7.2 meters long, 2.4 meters wide of this Rio mesh. It's the same mesh that the concreters use to reinforce driveways and to do slabs of concrete for a shed or something like that. And all I've done is bend the top over, the top 40 centimeters or foot or so over, and I just did that by hand because it's quite pliable. I bent it over on a almost 90-degree angle, almost, it's not quite, and then over the top of that I've thrown some bird netting. And I haven't covered the whole tunnel in bird netting because I haven't found a need to, because the birds and animals seem to not want to go into this tunnel for some reason. They're quite scared of going in there. So it's uh, it's pretty good that in that respect. I've just used a garden stake there, a plastic coated aluminium garden stake that I got for a few bucks, and I've put them over the top. I've just sat them on the top. I haven't tied them on, along with some long sticks that I've got from the back, and that gives it some head height and stops the netting from slumping down in the middle. I've got about 2 meters of clearance from the ground, which is way high enough. That bird netting there cost me $7 for 4 by 4 meters squared, and it's lasted about 5 or 6 years. There's a reverse angle look at it. I've just tied it on itself by using its own runs of that mesh, and I've bent this stuff quite easily with a little tiny little bar, the hollow bar, and a wrench, and you can just slip the bar over the end of the length of steel and then just bend it how you want simply by hand force. So it's really easy to bend into shape. And I've added a watering system to it. Instead of digging the watering system in, I've looped it over the top, and so that I can get water to both sides of the garden beds, which by the way are just simple little 1 sleeper high beds. I could have made them a little bit higher, but they've worked quite well. I've connected a 4 mil seeper hose to it, and that's on a timer. Comes on about every 3 days. Gives my bed a good watering. Pretty well set and forget. There's a bean seedling that I've got in there at the moment, just growing in a spare spot. And this is what I was talking about before, how I've just bent it over and joined it onto itself. So the lengths are it's all nice and sturdy, and it's pretty well, I haven't used much other material to secure it. It's pretty well secured by itself. And that's it. Can grow lots of different things. It's you don't have to make it the same as mine, but that's a concept anyway. I hope you enjoyed my little tunnel trellis video. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now.